Slugslinger's here! You are an older model. You probably should start taking it a little easier. If there's anybody out there, I need help fast!
Okay, here's a look at Transformers Age of the Primes Autobot Sandstorm versus Slugslinger. So here you could see what the front of the box looks like with the really nice artwork of Sandstorm and Slugslinger. But I don't recall ever seeing Sandstorm battling Slugslinger in any of the episodes or even the Japanese Headmaster series. So here is evidence of what Hasbro does to us to try to make us buy more of their figures. But anyways, here's a look at the front of the box. And the back of the box, you get your typical product images. Sandstorm's a triple changer, Slugslinger turns into this cool double nose cone jet plane. And the side of the box, you get a nice close-up artwork of Slugslinger. The other side, you get a nice close-up artwork of Sandstorm. And the top of the box, you get Sandstorm versus Slugslinger. And the bottom of the box, you get your warning words and stuff. So that is a look at the box. And now let's go ahead and open this up and do an unboxing and first impressions. Okay, here's a look at Sandstorm and Slugslinger out of the box with all their accessories. So first, let's go over the instructions really quick. And this is going to be a huge open up sheet because you could see this has a transformation for Slugslinger, but also the triple changer Sandstorm that comes with all those accessories. Turns into that Doom Buggy, and then also back with more of the transformation for Sandstorm, again because he is a triple changer. So here is just a quick look at the instructions, and now let's go over the accessories for each of the figures. So starting off first with Sandstorm. So first you could see it comes with two guns. One's a little pistol, one's a little rifle. And then he comes with that little hook thing that's attached to this, I don't know, it's like a multi thing. It's like a cage piece that also acts like that back part, you know, that goes on the vehicle. I don't know what that's called. And then the part for the helicopter and the spoiler for the vehicle mode. And here this needs to be tabbed in, so we can just go ahead and put that on now. And then with Slugslinger, first of all, this is the first time I am handling this figure, and I decided not to collect these Target Masters that from the Titans Return line because I already have like all of the original G1. And boy, well, there's actually two things. One, I kind of regretted it because these figures, the Headmasters, they're kind of like new renditions of the original G1 with better articulation. But the downside is they took so long to, or they're still working on coming out with the rest of the figures, because now next year we're finally getting, what is it, Sure Shot or something? Yeah, they're just taking way too long. So, but anyways, just thought I'd share that real quick. But Slugslinger comes with 2 guns. And I think the gimmick here was these were now headmasters. Oh, I thought he's supposed to be a target master. So he's supposed to come with like a little target master gun. Well, that's interesting. Now I have to kind of check. Did the original Titans version come with the target master? Or is this the way it came, just with 2 guns? But anyways, here's the accessories that this comes with. So now let's take a closer look at each one individually. So let's start first with Sandstorm and zoom in and take a closer look at the head, since this is the main reason why people might want to get this, to get more of the tune accurate face, which is the way this probably should have came in the first place. So here you could see he does have a more tune accurate head. And just to get a better comparison, let's bring out the original Legacy version. So here you can see what the difference is between the two. So zooming in, so you could see the difference with the head. The original Legacy version had the G1 toy head, which actually looks nice with that mask, but it's not really tune accurate, which is more the trending style now, where they try to capture the cartoon aesthetics. But yeah, you could see there's the one major difference. And then you just have to look and see there are other differences, such as the fist here. On the original Legacy version, he does have gray fists where it should be black. But, you know, part of the animation error, there are some scenes where his fists are gray. So, yeah, it just depends on how you view that. Yeah, it should technically be black so that it's more tune accurate. And then if you take a closer look at the crotch, you could see for some reason it has the lighter shade of orange in the center of his hips, and the Legacy it isn't. And then just overall in general, the Legacy version is a darker shade of orange, and the new one is a lighter shade, but they also made it kind of like more on the yellow side. So this is kind of like, look at the top of his head, it's kind of like an orange, and this one's kind of like a tangerine. So this one's technically a little bit more tune accurate in terms of the color, but in terms of the sculpt and the figure itself, they are exactly the same. Where the tolerance is really tight, so you have to make sure you use force to make sure you get things tabbed in, and then you have to use force to untab it. So yeah, but I will say, the plastic quality on these are, much more dense, so they feel more durable than, your typical mainline retail figures. And in terms of their accessories, there's also some differences just in terms of the colors. So here you could see the new one. His cage engine thing is black, and the Legacy version has a little bit of the gray. And then their guns are basically the same black color, but that little pistol, I don't know, I think that comes out of his forearm, is gray on the Legacy version, which I actually think is cool. And then the new one is black. So just some little details there. And now, I don't like to do all the articulations anymore, because that's just taking more of your precious time, right? But, for the most part, it's pretty much the same. The head is on a ball joint, but it is a little hard to get to. So maybe you have to use this loose chest piece to bring the head down, and then it is on a ball joint, so it can go up and down. It can go side to side, all around. And then his shoulders, you could see they can go out to the side, they can go forward and back. And then there is a bicep swivel. You could see he has a double jointed elbow for transformation, so you can get past 90 degrees. And then he does have fist rotation, really tight tolerance. He does have a little bit of waist rotation, but no ab crunch. But you can kind of fake the ab crunch using the hips. So the legs can go forward and back and out to the side. There is a thigh rotation. You do get a knee bend. You do get toe tilt down, no toe tilt up, but you can get ankle rocker. So yeah, you could see you can get a lot of cool dynamic art poses out of this articulation. So overall, I think yeah, it's done really well in terms of the articulation. And then now for comparisons, I'm not going to bring out all of the you know, original G1 and stuff like that, because you know, I did that on my legacy review and yeah, it didn't seem to do so well. So here I'll just, you know, show you compared with the animation model, and you could see that this version is, well, I think it's pretty much the same other than the head. He does have a face now, so it is more tune accurate. And then, you know me, I can point out all of the differences, such as, you know, the lower legs, they should be all black, you know, this should be orange, his whole chest should be orange, and you know, all that stuff. But for the most part, yeah, I think it's done really well. And I think these little extra detail that they added, it does add a nice accent that does help to break up the color, and it does make it look nice. So I'm saying that just to let you know that I am being objective and, you know, looking at, you know, all aspects. I'm not just one of those, you know, that just has my preference and complains and says that this is bad because it's not the way I like it. No, you have to look at all sides. So I'm telling you, it's not tune accurate, but I do appreciate the fact that, you know, it does look nice. But anyways, that is a look at Sandstorm. So now let's transform him to his alt mode, his vehicle alt mode, and take a look at that.
Now I'll show you. Eat my dust!
Okay, to transform Sandstorm from robot mode to his vehicle Doom Buggy mode, first let's lift up his arms and then spread them out so we can get a good grip here. And then his elbow joints, they are on a double hinge, so push them up and back and then get a good grip so that we can grab and pull down the bottom of his forearm panel. And then you could see there's a pin, so you rotate that fist up and in, and then close that bottom forearm panel back up like so. And then do the same on the other side, so get a good grip, and then use that double hinge to accordion up the forearm up to his shoulder, and then get a good grip so that you could bring down that bottom forearm panel all the way. And then you could see that pin, rotate that fist up, and then close that panel back up like so. And then we want to come here to his feet, and then you want to take his heels on a double hinge and then lift those up underneath his toes on both sides. And then you can bring down his toes 90 degrees. And here, let me just tell you, do not tab these both together right now and then later say it's going to be hard to push in, because tabbing it in together now is what's making it hard to push in. So now you want to push each leg up individually on that slider. So make sure you get a good grip here and here, because you don't want to push up and then smash your finger. And then you push up, and yeah, that time it went up all the way. But here I'm just pointing out, I don't know if you could see it, but you could see a little bit of an orange crescent shape, because that pin doesn't go down all the way until you push, apply force to push it down, and then you hear that snap. So do the same on the other side. You want to push it down and then push it all the way till you hear that snap. And then you can tab these two together, and then you could see that was so much easier than tabbing it in and then saying it's hard to push this up. Yeah, because it's easier to push up when you do them individually. And then the sides here, you want to bring these out to cover the orange part of the hands. So now we want to come back up here to the chest that doesn't really stay tabbed in very well. So you just bring that down. So you have the clearance here to bring down this black engine piece that this head is on. So you want to pull this down and up, and then you want to pull it up just enough to have the clearance to bring that head down. But first you need to take his head, you see that hinge, you want to fold it down, and then you want to tuck that head down underneath that engine. And then when you're bringing it all down, you see these two orange posts. They're going to go into the little slots up there. So here you want to line those up, and like I said, you have to apply force to get things to tab in because the tolerance here is really tight. So here I'm just making sure I get it lined up, tabbed in. You could hear the little snap. And then after you got that, then we can now bring this whole chest piece, and you could see there's two tabs underneath the front of the window, and then they're going to tab into the two slots on the knees, and that you don't have to push in, they just kind of fall in place. And then you can now bring down his arms by untabbing it on that shoulder joint. So you want to untab it right there and then bring it down on both sides. And then now we're going to lift up the arm. So you see the orange tab is going to go into that slot there. So you just need to bring it up, line it up, tab it in until you get that nice and flush on both sides. So bring this up, get that tab lined into that slot like so. And then here, this tail piece, you can make a spoiler by separating these two and bringing it down. And then the last thing, this is like a parts former. So now we need to bring out this cage thing. And here I'll just show you real quick that you could use this. You can untab this, and I'm just showing you something you could do in helicopter mode. You can use this to kind of carry stuff in this cage. See, it's just kind of cool. But anyways, what you want to do is you want to separate this into the three parts. And here I do need to point out something so to help make it easier. This only tabs in a certain way. You can't have it both ways. And I'm just letting you know, one side is wider, the bottom, and then the other side is narrower. So, and the way you could tell is you could see this side has this little top piece, and that's the narrow side, and this side is wider. So the side with this is narrower. And the same thing here with this platform. You could see the two tabs on the side. This is the side that's narrow. This is the side that's wide. So I'm just pointing it out just to make it easier, because then you'll probably figure it out. Just it doesn't work this way, so you have to put it the other way. And reason why I'm telling you that is because it's the same thing here. This doesn't just go in like this, right? The wide side needs to come closer to the front. So the wide side is the one with that doesn't have this top. So all that to take up your time just to try to help make things easier, and then you just have to find that slot, line it up, tab it in. Well, whoops, I forgot a step. This is all just for the storage. You can actually roll this up for storage first, And here I'm taking up more of your time because I wanted to show you, you know, what you could do with this. But yeah, this would have been cool if they gave you a little hook thing, you know, you could roll it around instead of what I'm doing now, just taking forever to roll this all up. But once you get it all rolled up, then you could see there is a little post here that you could put into that little slot for storage, and then you know, line it up here the correct way. The narrow side has this piece, the narrow side goes on the back. Push that down all the way, and then you come to the bottom, and here you could see there's a slot for that little post right there. And the two tabs, they are on the front, so you want to rotate it this way. And this brick, I don't know, it doesn't really matter if whether it's the top or the bottom, but I think the one with the mechanic details should be on the bottom. So here you just kind of want to open the two sides a little bit so you can get it in there, tab it in, and once you do, push these together around that tab. And then the last thing, well, I mean, this is, I don't think it's part of the instructions, but I just kind of use this as kind of like maybe the fake exhaust pipe. Put it down there, and then here, his gun, I guess you could stick it up here. That kind of makes sense. And then now we have Sandstorm in his vehicle Doom Buggy Alt mode. And here is a look at Sandstorm in his vehicle Doom Buggy Alt mode. And I'm not going to waste your precious time bringing out all the previous versions, you know, the Generations, Hasbro, Takata, the McFans toys, the unique toys, you know, because that's a lot of work, and yeah, it doesn't seem to help. So here, I'll just show you the comparison with the animation model, and you could see that for the most part, I think they did a nice job capturing the shape. But you know me, I can always point out all the things that are off, such as, you know, the silver up here, it should be all black and have the Autobot symbol. There's yellow on the front for like headlights or something. Here it should be all orange, a little silver up there. But yeah, overall, it still looks nice. But the main difference is this new version, the Age of the Primes. You could see back here, this engine piece is now black instead of gray like the Legacy version. So you could see the Legacy is gray. And both of these actually look really nice. And personally, this is subjective, I actually like the gray because it kind of makes sense. You know, you think of engine as being gray, not really engine all black where you can't even see anything. But yeah, you could see for the most part, you know, other than the shade of orange and that gray that I just pointed out, these are exactly the same. But now in terms of the figure itself, I already said the plastic quality, you know, this feels really good. It feels very dense, so it's very strong. And then this has the nice rubber wheels, kind of like their beachcomber. So this is really nice, and it does roll really nice. So this is really cool. So here is a look at Sandstorm in his vehicle Doom Buggy Alt mode. So now let's transform him to his helicopter mode and take a look at that. Okay, to transform Sandstorm from his vehicle Doom Buggy Alt mode, first you want to remove the accessories. So untab his gun, put that to the side, and you want to pull up to take out this cage piece. And then you want to also remove this, I don't know what you call it, those little rope thing. And then on the bottom, you want to spread his legs out. So now we can untab this bottom platform, and then those three pieces are going to form that cage piece. And then also, yeah, I attached the little pistol back here. And after we got all of that done, now first here, let's just fold up these spoiler two pieces up. And then we want to untab his arm here. So pull forward on that little panel to bring down that arm on both sides. And then we can close those two panels back up. And then come here and we want to bring these down, these side pieces. And now let's just lift up this chest piece to get it out of the way. And here, this part's a little tricky and it really doesn't matter. Basically, when you fold these wheels up, one's going to go up and one side's going to go down. So you can either have this side up or this side down, this side up or this side down, but they need to be the opposite. So here I'm going to take this side up and I'm going to rotate it. And then I'm going to lift this up, and then this is going to come up and it's going to sit here on the top piece. Oh wait, actually now to make it more complicated, there's a little nub on one side. See, they're not the same. This side's smooth, this side has that nub. So you want to rotate it around where that nub is actually not in the way. So that's making it complicated, but you have to be aware. That's what makes it a little difficult for this to actually come down. And then you can rotate that side to the top, and then this side, since this is the top, this is going to be the bottom. So now we rotate this one down to the bottom, and then we can bring that up, and then you could see now we have the back bottom piece formed, and then get that straightened out. And then now we want to come back up here, this engine piece. Let me see if we can come up so we can get a better view. Come up to this engine piece. Now you want to untab it from those two posts, and then you want to bring out his head on that orange hinge and then lift that up. And this part, yeah, it's going to be a little hard to explain here, but now when you're collapsing this back down, in robot mode, his head comes up to about that top, but you want to push it down. And this part, it's kind of hard to explain, but basically you need to make sure you get this pushed down and in all the way. And here I'll try to show you, so you know what you're doing, if I can show it to you. But you could see there is a tiny little nub right there where my thumb is pointing, and it is supposed to fit into the little slot down in there. It's kind of hard to see, but basically when you're collapsing this down, you want to push it down till it kind of pushes down into that spot down there. And then there is this little cutout piece here that is for the tab right here, and that's going to become an issue later. I'll point out later, but basically you have to get this down and in all the way. And then now we can his window piece, we can fold that down so that we have that port exposed. And then this is now going to come up, and yeah, sometimes it's hard to get the clearance of all these things, and you have to apply some force to get this to come in. But basically here now you're trying to get this front piece down here, and here this does not tab in anywhere, but if you see it, you could see how it's straight, and this is straight. And you're also trying to get this to be straight, because now when you fold in these arms, you could see the little tab. It's supposed to go into that slot right there. So in order to do that, they all need to be going straight, parallel with each other. And then you just find that tab and that slot, line it up, tab it in, and you can hear it in my voice. I told you, you have to apply force with these tabs because these tolerants are really tight. So you have to apply force to get this to be tabbed in. Once you get it tabbed in, you want to give it a good push like so. And then there's a lot of steps here, but basically we need to bring down these tires by untabbing it. So here you want to apply force to untab it on both sides. And then you need to be aware it is on a double hinge. So you need to use that double hinge to help bring this down. But for now, just bring it down 90 degrees because now this front piece here, well, first we need to bring down these side pieces. And then we need to rotate this front part of the helicopter around 180. So you could see now it's all nice and flush right here. And then do the same on this side. So bring down this piece here. And this does have a little cutout. And then bring it down 90 degrees. And then yeah, you want to rotate the front of the helicopter here 180. Make sure you grab where you can get a good grip because the tolerance is really tight. You have to use force to rotate that around. And then this is where I was telling you there's things involved here. But you could see now this is going to come down. But you could see that cutout is for that little tab right there. And then you have to be aware of that double hinge to make sure it comes down nice and flat. And then that's what I was telling you. There's a little tab in here that's supposed to go into that slot right there. So there's quite a lot of steps involved, but the most important thing is to know what you're doing, and just be aware of all those things I pointed out, just to bring it down on the double hinge nice and flat. Make sure that cutout gets into that tab, and make sure that tab in there goes in. Once you get all of that done, then you could see this front part. You just tab it in, and I'm just pointing out, if you push that chest piece down and in all the way, this piece will close. Because if you don't bring that down all the way, that tab won't go in, and then you're going to have this huge parting line gap in between the two sides here. So that's how you get all of that. Now we need to come up here to the front. So first, the top, bring down this piece, and then here you want to pull up on the propeller piece, but then you also want to bring up all these propeller pieces as well. So you want to pull up, use force to pull this out, and then pull these out, 1 2 3 4. And then here now we want to rotate these propeller pieces down 180, so that now we can untab it here, and then bring this down so that we bring it down where we can get these propeller pieces through. And then you need to rotate it forward, and technically the safe way to do it is to bring down one side so you could see it rotates, because if you don't bring it down, it's going to keep hitting, and I don't like it when people are telling you to bend it up, because you just fold that down and then this will easily rotate up. And then once you got that now to the other side, now we need to lift this back up and all this complicated stuff. Now we need to bring this small piece back up and through to the top, and then bring this down. This is on a double hinge, so you have to use that double hinge to make sure this comes all nice and flat. And then close that top, and then close these pieces around that black post. And then you can see, obviously, now we're going to open up these propellers one by one, and they do kind of lock in place. And after all of that, now we have Sandstorm in his helicopter mode. And here is a look at Sandstorm in his vehicle alt mode, in the helicopter mode. And like I said, I'm not going to waste your precious time and bring out the precious and all the other previous versions. But let's compare this with the animation model so you could see that yeah, there are definitely a lot of things I can point out, but I will say, you know, for the most part, compared to the previous versions, I think they did a nice job trying to capture more of the overall shape. So I think that's nice. And you know how they try to make the back part black and stuff. So yeah, now when we zoom in, just take a quick look at all the nicely sculpted detail, the nice paint that they added. Yeah, it's really well done. I mean, look at all the nicely sculpted detail up there. Yeah, so I think they did a nice job. And just real quick for the accessories. So here, this is that cage thing I was telling, and I already made it clear, right? Which side's wider, which side's narrower. The narrow side has that thing. The narrow side has the two tabs. So that's the appropriate way to line these up so they get tabbed in. And then you just have to find the slot and the tab, line it up, tab it in, give it a good squeeze. And then here, this one, yeah, it doesn't really matter if you tab it in here, this one to the cage or this side to the cage, but the official instructions tell you to have the rotating piece tab in here, and it only goes in one way. You can't put it in this way, you can only put it in this way. And then once you find that tab and that slot, line it up, tab it in, and like I said, the tolerance is really tight, so you have to apply force. And then you could pull this down, and then you can attach it here. And then this is just a little feature that they gave you, which is, you know, kind of cool, kind of nice. And they also, you know, made it so you can use this as a weapon in robot mode. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you that. And then, of course, with all the 5mm ports, you can, you know, store the guns, you know, wherever you want to put them. So that's a look at Sandstorm in his alt mode. And just for one more comparison to take up more of your time, just so you could see the difference. Let's attach this back on here. So here's the legacy version, and here is the Age of the Primes version. So yeah, you could see the difference. Not really much of a difference other than just the shade of gray, shade of orange. So that's a look at that, and I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I'm already taking up a lot of your time for this review. But yeah, here's a look at Sandstorm in his alt mode. So now we can go over now Slugfest, and let's see how fast we can go over Slugfest. So here is a look at Slugfest, and there's actually quite a lot of things that I want to say and share about this figure, but for the sake of time, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible, so as rapid fire as I can. So first of all, when you zoom in and take a closer look at the figure, look at that really nicely sculpted head, the shoulders with the detail, the chest and all the details. You come down the waist. This is a really nicely sculpted figure, especially with all the extra accent of the decals here, the nice transparent plastic for the windows. So yeah, I'm just telling you, in terms of the figure, this is, I'm just giving you my honest opinion. I really like this figure a lot. This is a really nicely sculpted figure. The wings, the shapes, all the nicely sculpted detail. This is really nice. Now, I said there are two issues with this. So one, you know, when these first came out, you know, under the Titans line, which was more kind of like the Hasbro version, and then the Takata had their versions, which was the Japanese Headmasters. So, you know, the color was a little bit different. And then also Hasbro did not give you the little Target Master, but Takata did. And then now this one, you could see this nice navy blue color is more accurate to the US Season 4 Headmaster. So the first release, the Titans, was a little lighter based on the original G1 toy, but this one is now more the tune accurate. But it still has the same issue. It doesn't come with that little Target Master Caliburst. Caliburst has now become the Headmaster. But anyways, my point to it is, you know, I didn't get them because I pretty much have all the original G1 Headmasters, so I didn't get it. But then I kind of regret not getting it because, you know, these new updated renditions of the original G1 Headmasters, these are really nice. Like I told you, I'm being honest, this is really a nice looking figure. But the other issue is that just like I thought, they're going to take forever to give you all the figures. I mean, they still didn't complete the Headmaster. I mean, next year we're getting Sure Shot. So, yeah, I mean, so from that sense, I'm kind of glad I didn't get it. But then I kind of feel bad I didn't get it. But then, you know, that's the US is not like Takata, so you're not going to get like the Target Masters and stuff. So it's just back and forth. My whole point in sharing all of it is making decisions on what to get is actually really hard. And this is what Hasbro does. They kind of pull these things to put you in this position to make you, you know, regret not getting it, or now trying to get it after paying aftermarket prices or stuff. So I don't appreciate that either by Hasbro's market strategy team. It's all about the money. Money is the root of all evil. But anyways, I just wanted to share all of that. But now, in terms of the figure, like I already said, this is a really nicely sculpted figure, nicely painted. I mean, look at all this detail. I mean, those people, you know, who really like all this detail, I know you'll love this. Because if I'm already liking it, yeah, this is really nice. But anyways, in terms of this figure, he is now a Headmaster. So you can remove him, and this is Caliburst. He is now no longer a Target Master, he's a Headmaster, and he does come with 2 guns that you put together to form his Target Master. And then they did give you little poles so you can have him stand doing all kinds of weird things like standing here on it. But yeah, so this is kind of like the start of the transformation. You need to remove all of that, and then you spread his arms out so that you can fold in his fists, and then you want to bring down those shoulder pieces to get it out of the way, so that now you could lift up the front. This is cool, those 2 nose cones here. Bring him up and then bring that down like so, and then come to his feet, and then you want to fold up his feet, and then they are going to fold backwards like so, and then you're going to lift these legs up. But in here there's this center piece, his crotch. You want to bring that down, and then now you want to hold that crotch piece down so you can bring up these legs on both sides. And then there is a certain orientation. You could see that the top lower legs are supposed to be parallel, but these gray thighs are supposed to be at an angle, and you need to kind of hold this centerpiece. So it's a little tricky trying to manipulate this to get it up. And then once you get it up, then you can tab the 2 legs in together, and then they are supposed to fit into that little contour shape up here. And then if you got that up, and make sure that this bottom piece is down, make sure the legs up here are straight, and these thighs are at an angle. And then yeah, you can bring these arms back, and you could see there is the tab. I don't like this tab. This is kind of like the tab thing that X-Transbots does with their poor quality plastic, which is prone to breakage. But this one is also still prone to breakage because you don't want to have things out like this. This is not really good. But basically, you want to bring that, line it up to that slot, and tab it in, and do the same on the other side. So you get that little hook tab to go in, and then if you got that tabbed in all the way, just carefully push it in because you don't want to break it. Then you can bring down the wings. You could see there's a tab and a slot. So you get that lined up, tabbed in, and then we have Slugfest in his alt mode. Look at this. This is really cool. Just the shape, the sculpt, the detail, the colors. I really like this. I'm giving you my truthful, honest opinion all the time. This is really a nice figure. It's just the downside is now I don't have, what is it, Misfire or Trigger Happy and all the other three Headmasters, Weird Wolf, Skull Crunch, Mind Wipe, Scorponok. Yeah, so yeah, that's the downside. But then the positive side, yeah, maybe it's good you didn't get them because you're still collecting it. But anyways, in terms of this figure, they did give you a little nub up here, so it makes it easier to open up the cockpit. These are actually the cockpit, but they gave you one for the Headmaster calibers, not the Target Master. And then you just get him in there, sitting down. Yeah, you need to get him so he's folded, sitting down all the way. And then you can close that up. And so that's a cool feature. And then, of course, you know, like a lot of the figures, they give you storage for the weapons underneath the wings. They're not symmetrical missiles, but this still, I'm laughing because I'm telling you, I really like this a lot. It's just, for me, being mostly a completist, yeah, this is like a thorn in my side knowing I don't have all the other Target Masters. So I'll just share this, that I know I'm gonna have to, you know, give this away because this just doesn't fit in my collection. But anyways, for the sake of time, I'm just gonna end my review here and just leave these guys in alt mode and have fun transforming these back to robot mode later. But yeah, so here you could see this is the Transformers Age of the Prime Sandstorm and Slugfest.
You can call me Calibers, because I never missed a shot in my life.
But you've never taken a shot in your life.
See when I lie to you?
You're history now, Autobots! Slugslingers here! You're history now, Autobots!
It's time we fought for what we believe in. Our freedom, our planet, our lives. The Decepticons are using our energon to destroy. Believe me, our forefathers would take up arms and fight. It's as beautiful in death as it was in life.